Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Outer Rim broadcast, episode 14. And we have a big one today.
Sir.
Episodes 3 and 4 of Ahsoka are out. Pretty big episodes.
Very good.
Pretty big episodes.
Yeah, so we can just go ahead and start with episode 3. Episode 3 was it felt very Clone Wars Rebels-y
Yeah,
kind of
did.
an episode.
There was a mission, and then they did the mission.
And then got side railed during the mission. But oh, man, it's just so cool. The scene where Ahsoka hops out into space, like, that was very Clone Wars Rebels vibes. And then, bro, that dude who got cut in half by her while she's in space, like, bro had one job and he failed miserably.
It wasn't even close.
Like, oh my god.
It wasn't even close.
That episode, I really liked that episode.
So they requested that map. That episode, right? They requested to find the map that leads to, or open it or get it back or something. Get it back from.
Yeah, they were following the tracker that Chopper put.
Yes. Following the tracker that Chopper
big
put
old
on
ship.
the ship that took the 7th hyperdrive engine to the.
Yeah, that's right. He put it on the hyperdrive and then. Yeah.
That led them there. And so they followed them through. They got to whatever planet that is. SEO, something like that.
Has it been named?
Yeah, it's named. It's SEO something.
Huh.
I don't remember.
Gotcha.
But they take it there, and then, in typical fashion, there's a big star fight. Ship goes down on the surface. That's episode 4, but they make it there.
Right.
Ahsoka. Yeah,
Wait a minute, you know something?
No, Ezra
that
does
I
not
know?
make it there. Ahsoka, Sabine, and Hu Yang make it, and they are met with Baylan Skull and Shin Hati and Morgan Elspeth, along with Marok and a couple other.
The shot where they first, like, they're at the planet, like, flying around, and they're like, or Hu Yang's like, oh, I'm reading a signature on the other side, and then the shot where they see it for the first time is so ominous.
I know it is.
You just see this huge ring out there, and you're like, dang.
No, it's actually crazy.
And then that's when the fighters come in, and dude, those fighter designs were sick. They were like World War II fighter
That's what
planes.
I was thinking too, like a P-51 Mustang.
And the sound design for them too was like.
And that might be what they're going for.
Planes. It was sick.
But that's one of the Lego sets.
Yeah, no, 100%.
That's one of the Lego sets that just came out, and you get Shinati and
sick.
Marok as a minifig. They're cool.
That's
they're
dope.
cool. It's like one of the 2-pack sets, like the.
How much is that set?
I think it's $100 because it was you get 2 ships with it though. You get 2 ships and then you get
That's
4
cool.
or 5 minifigs. Because
Is it them? Is it Shin and Marok that are Is it their ships?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's that one, and there's a blue.
Yeah, those are
then
cool.
you get like a rebel fighter or something.
They're pretty unique to Star Wars, I feel like.
They're unique ships.
I feel like we don't get those designs very often.
Definitely not.
If not ever. But yeah, so they chase Ahsoka and Sabine, and then Ahsoka and Sabine they're trying to fly close to the eye so that Hu Yang can get a scan on it, and then Ahsoka showing off the Jedi pilot skills.
Yep.
And then they finally get shot as soon as Hu Yang gets the scan complete.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're floating for a little bit, and then Ahsoka hops out and is just in space, deflecting freaking fighter blaster shots.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That was so cool. And then she's like hopping around. She's got like grab boots on or whatever. That's the dude's plane in half. First of all, I don't know what that dude was thinking. He was about to crash into their ship.
He was
she wouldn't have cut him in half. He's one of the unnamed people that they had to throw in that you knew could die.
Yeah.
But speaking of killing people, a few minutes before that, when Sabine was in the gunner shooting at them. That was sick when they started working together.
It was
her and
cool seeing
Ahsoka.
like you could see where she was like kind of like let go and like unblocked herself from basically from Ahsoka and kind of
Yep.
like finally
And then
listening.
Ahsoka also.
Ahsoka
Yeah, and then
also,
Ahsoka also like letting her do stuff.
right, letting her be her.
It was good. It was good. It's good to see that. But then they fix their ship, and then they start chasing them again, and then they go down into the planet, and we see the greatest boys that exist, the Purgles. We saw the Purgles in live action,
We
fully
did.
up close. They're massive.
They come right through.
I forget how massive they are. They're insane.
Yeah. Well, they were like,
Um,
I saw a clip today of Rebels finale, and basically they just like swam through Star Destroyers. Like, like it was
They're
nothing.
massive, dude. Yeah, it's like they don't even see you there. They're like, I'm going.
Yeah.
It's cool to see that, and then you see Sabine's like face, like when she sees him, she's like, "Oh my god!"
Yep.
Because the last time they saw them was
When-
the day Ezra disappeared,
Mhm.
and they knew how much like Ezra kind of like had a connection to them.
Right.
Yeah, then they crash.
About 12 clicks away from the site, the ancient site.
Yep. It was a really good episode. It was probably my favorite like up to that point. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that was
I think
that
I
was my
agree too.
favorite up to that
Something
point.
that
It just felt fun.
yeah.
I don't know.
It did. It felt like a live action Clone Wars Rebel episode. It did. Like
Yeah.
a 2-episode arc or something. But something we missed in
Exactly.
the second episode when Ahsoka finds the map, when she is
First episode.
that's the first episode.
That's the first episode. Yeah. That's like her
Damn,
first
they
scene.
really okay. Anyways, in the first episode, when she is doing the little puzzle thing, the Jedi Order puzzle thing for the map, when she turns one of the like sandstone pillars or whatever,
Dial things, yeah.
we hear a voice that say like "he is," and then like a break, and then like "chosen one," and I think that's where Sam Witwer's credits are coming into. I think it's either Maul or it's the son. Personally, I think we decided that I think it's the son because
Right.
he had, Anakin's.
Because what I was saying was the Night Sisters worshipped
Yeah.
like the Mortis gods, and that was a Night Sister kind of a
Right. Well, because
setup. I
Morgan,
guess. I
Morgan
don't know
Elsbeth
what you wanna
was
call that room.
Morgan Elsbeth is a night witch, and she was
Is a Night Sister. Yeah.
she was doing all the things with the map, so like she knew what was up. So I think, I mean, and
Right.
it again, Maul is Maul, and he's eternal and whatever, so he's probably got something to do with it. But
Though Maul also has connections with the Night Sisters as well,
'Cause
so
he
it
is-
wouldn't be
yeah,
impossible.
because I mean, well, he is from Dathomir, so
He was a Night Brother or whatever they're called. I think they're called Night Brothers.
yeah,
Right?
I don't know,
I don't know.
probably,
But
but
something
one
like
of the
that.
two. So I think
But,
that's where
yeah.
Sam Witwer's voice credits are from. Now, granted, he also has credits in all the other episodes, which I don't know if that's just because he's a part of the project, or if there's other things, or if he's like a
I think-
consultant, or if there's things which we're just missing.
I think the credits don't change per episode with something like this.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just they put the credits, but we know he's gonna be. I mean, we don't technically know this, but he's gonna be in more. 'Cause
I
he ain't
think
done.
so. I think so too.
He ain't done. And also he does the voice for other things too. Like sometimes he'll do like noises and stuff too. like,
Yeah.
unrelated to any characters that he plays.
He's just a good voice
But,
actor in general.
Right, and he's loved by Lucasfilm and all that. So, and him and Dave are close. But now we get into the meat,
Episode
the
4.
entree, if you will, the dessert. I don't know what you want to call it, but episode 4. Oh my God, a 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10, 12 out of 10 episode, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to give it. Amazing episode, absolute masterpiece. So, jeez, dude. So we start off, right? We start off they're trying to repair their ship,
Yep.
and then we get Hu Yang in some action, man. We get some Hu Yang action.
I know he's got some of that old
That was
Jedi
dope.
teachings. He's going crazy.
Robot attacked him, and he was going crazy on him, and then to signal them for help, he cuts the power.
And Ahsoka knew right
That
away.
was so smart.
Because Sabine was like,
she was like, Sabine was like, oh, he made it worse.
dumb
Yeah.
droid. And then Ahsoka's like, he wouldn't do that. Sure enough, they go outside. They find visitors.
Oh, turns on her lightsabers right away. It's funny because Morgan Elsbeth even said that she was like, or it was her or Balin. I think it was Morgan, but she was basically like, yeah, the guards aren't gonna hold them off for long.
Yeah.
She knew that they were just sending them to their death.
The other thing that I found
and then
that I thought was really cool was when Morgan was like talking to Balin, and she was like, "Is that fear I sense in you?" And he goes, "No, experience." And I'm like, "Oh,
yeah, God, he's so cool. He's so cool, dude. Forget the Jedi. I want to be his apprentice, man. He's so cool, and he doesn't seem like evil. He has like his own code that he kind of seems to follow, and like he's even sad about having to kill a Jedi, you know?
right."
And I
And
think
that Jedi specifically.
I don't know. Like we don't know exactly what he wants to do, but I feel like he actually thinks that he's actually trying to do good.
I'm not
He even said
so
like sometimes you have to destroy to create.
I think I'm not sure if he wants good, but I mean, again, good is a point of view, Anakin. I think you want like,
Yeah,
I think
every
he
villain
wants
is the hero of their own story.
right. I think it's that sort of thing, but I think he's more of like, he wants to start over. He wants to be, but then again, he said he wants, or he's like, I'm just doing this for a greater good. So like he thinks that he's not like going to be a huge part of it. He just wants to be a part of something.
Right. That's why he keeps mentioning that like he's like I'm not starting a war. Thrawn will though, but not me.
He just wants his name in there somewhere, I think, and like he knows his place. He knows his place within the Force, I think is what it is.
I saw a theory, a fan theory. I don't know how this would even be possible, but it was interesting. It made me think. The theory was they were saying that because you know how he was like, oh, he was talking about how Anakin and Ahsoka's legacy is destruction, blah blah blah. Because obviously Order 66, all that, and somebody said, what if he's trying to go back and stop that from happening? I don't know how he would do that.
I don't know.
But this does seem like it'd be a path to do that. But
go back and change it though.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what it was, like how that would even happen. But like from what I can gather from him, I don't think like I think he's actually like upset that Order 66 happened and stuff like that. 100%. Like he's not on the side of the Sith. Like, yeah, let's kill the Jedi. From what I see, because he's sad about having to kill Ahsoka, and so he definitely. He's just so interesting, man. Like he's not a one-dimensional, like Sith bad guy. You know what I mean? He's got,
and I think
he's just very interesting.
Dave is really good at showing when a character knows their place in the Force. You look at Ezra, look at Kanan. They knew what they had to do. They looked ahead. They looked into the Force, and they could see like this is the way it had to be. And I think Balin is also at that level. To me, that's what I get from it, because he's so calm and relaxed, and like yet he's so focused.
And he also, I wouldn't necessarily say it's what his place in the Force should be, but it's what he thinks.
And that is just
because like Ezra and Kanan actually like that's what they actually need.
That's good enough. That I mean, because again,
that's all the motivation he needs. Really, is he thinks, okay, this is what I actually need to do. Maybe he's probably wrong. I don't think getting Thrawn to get the Empire back together is what needs to happen.
But again, he's in that mindset, and that mindset is what and it's dangerous because it works every time.
Something that I just thought of right now that I just thought of is because he's saying how like he has to work with a great evil for a greater good, working with Thrawn for a greater good. It could be something like he's seen some sort of like glimpse the future or something of a great evil in the other galaxy, and Thrawn uniting like people, I guess, or an army, is their only like hope of stopping that. And I could see that being a possibility, and it could be a way that Ezra is working with Thrawn too, is because there's some
extra
big
galactic
evil out in this other galaxy, and Thrawn is just so tactically smart, and he's just smart in general. Like he can just do some crazy stuff, and that's probably why like even Ezra knows like Thrawn's like kind of our only hope to help stop this evil.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
So this could be this whole culmination of they're actually all on the same side, and we just don't know that yet.
That would be cool.
Because we're only in episode 4, bruh. Like
I know.
I feel like everything that's happened, like this is like the end.
Right.
But we still got a whole half of the show.
I think that would be cool. They just have
a whole movie.
They just have to be careful with what they do with the other galaxy. Granted, they could do almost anything.
Yeah. Dave is,
but again,
I have full faith that he will do it great. And I already know he's probably talked with George Lucas, and
yep,
yeah, this will be great. It'll be great.
Totally. So then let's see. They get out. Ahsoka gets out. Lightsabers ignited, ready to fight. They end up fighting. Baylan sends Shin out. Shin and Marok technically go out and do some damage to stall them. You won't stall them for very long, but you can. Sends out Shin, sends out Marok, or however you say his name.
Marok.
They go out. Ahsoka takes Marok, and then Sabine takes Shin.
I love that scene, by the way. They're like standing off, and Ahsoka's just like, bro, she finds it so amusing because she could 2v1.
She did what
really
Obi-Wan did in the Maul fight, in Maul's last fight. It was just like so relaxed about it. It was so cold.
But can we talk about how, oh my god, it's so cool how much of like a samurai approach they're taking it.
Yeah.
Because they would with Filoni, because Filoni's always said that's how George Lucas thought of it as. So I just love, especially with Ahsoka, man. Like she does all the samurai like.
Well, she had
stuff.
Was that Anakin's stance when she had the saber up above his head, up above her head?
No, dude, that was just a samurai like stance.
Samurai stance. Okay, because I thought he did
that. Was like a samurai thing.
I was trying to think of when he did that, but I thought
she does another samurai thing against Baylan when she holds it out.
Yes.
In a way, and she's just like, oh god.
But
we'll get to that.
We found out Marok. I mean, obviously Ahsoka clears, and Marok gets sliced up, and we find the same sort of like green.
Hold on.
Life force that Savage had when he died. So he was just some culmination of Night Sister magic.
Yeah, but hold on, back up. When the scene when they're fighting, when he's doing the lightsaber twirl, and he's thinking like, oh, I have you, like you can't get through this, and she's like, she does the samurai stance, and she has to get like the perfect strike in, like the classic samurai like one strike
through
perfect.
The stomach, yeah.
She has to do that through this double bladed lightsaber that's spinning super fast. She has to get one strike perfectly through, and she does.
She gets it.
Just boom.
Of course she does.
And she knew she was. She was so amused. She was like, "You really think that?"
She doesn't even turn around. She holds the stance. In fact, she resets her stance.
Really, it's really like a shot from the Ghost of Tsushima game, like just perfectly hit. And then that's when Shin and Sabine see that.
And then Shin freaks out.
But yeah, about him when he dies, that was like, you know what it reminded me of? Like, it reminded me of in Fallen Order when what's her name? Maris? What's the name of the Night Sister in Fallen Order?
I think you're right. It's been a while.
Like something.
The love interest?
Something Maris. Barris? No, Barris.
No, not Barris. Not her. It was not her. It's something like that.
But anyways, you know how she like reanimates the corpses of the Night Sisters?
Yeah, it was like that.
And like they like have that glow, and then when you kill them, it does that.
They just disappear. That's exactly what it is. Because I'm sure.
Yeah.
either
Marin.
that's it. I'm sure either, you know, Mother Talzin or Morgan Elsbeth or somebody, obviously with the Dathomir Night Sister power, had, you know, Morok done up in that way, which is why
He was probably a reanimated Night Brother, is what I'm saying.
that, or, you know, an Inquisitor or something who was from Dathomir or something.
I don't know where. But like you never see Morok use the Force, technically.
Yeah, that's true.
Because when he throws his lightsaber, it's the Inquisitor one
And it just
comes back. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we just
So,
assumes maybe it was
I
just
wouldn't
a
be
swordsman.
surprised.
Yeah, but anyways, he was like turned out to be a nobody, which I think was hilarious. Everybody was like, "Oh my god, it has to be Stark."
Also, that was probably also Sam Witwer voicing him, just for the meme,
Oh yeah, and Dave knew.
just for the extra.
Dave knew he was funny. He knew he was gonna start a fire. Like, that's so funny. But I like how he was just some new character. I would not have liked him being somebody
Yeah,
else.
I love when like because not everybody has to be a big character
Right.
or a big reveal. Like it's cool that the whole time it was a Night Brother, reanimated Night Brother, or
And we see
reanimated-
that in live action. Like,
whatever.
we've never seen that in live action either, you know?
Yeah,
like,
so
that's
cool.
so
And then his like scream.
Yeah.
Ah!
Because it's a spirit leaving.
Hire me as a voice actor. Just kidding. But yeah, so then that was cool. And then dude, oh my god, Sabine is so cool. When they first are fighting and then they end up like in close quarters when she still has her guns out.
Yeah.
Shin goes and like swings right at her and she like backflips almost to avoid the lightsaber. Oh, that was so cool.
I love when she uses her armor against her. Like, she just puts her arm up against the lightsaber.
Yeah.
Like, you have a lot of faith.
Because she loses her lightsaber and then when she goes and swings at her, she just puts her arm up and blocks it.
I think the best part, though...
Yep, that's a Mandalorian.
I think the best part, though, and like the most Mandalorian thing, but also like partly Jedi, was like the trickery she did. She lost her saber,
Yeah.
she lost her guns, Shin had her bested, and then
she had to just
she
be Sabine.
falls. She falls down, puts her hand out, like she's using the Force. So then Shin
She did the Force a little bit. It was like a slap.
because Shin was like, "What?" She like backed up just a second, then she turns around and
was
goes,
like-
"You have no power."
Yeah, she was getting ready to brace for like a bigger Force push, and it was just like a slap. She's like, "Yeah, you have no power," and then
And then she flicks her wrists and
closes her fist and fires.
get the wrist rockets
Was that
out.
the thing that Mando has? What's it called? The whistling
No, it
bird
wasn't
or
the whistling
something?
birds. It was just some wrist rockets
Okay.
or wrist concussion rockets or something.
Gotcha.
The whistling birds will like pierce her and like go through her, and that'd be it. But no,
True. But I mean, it also, because she didn't she block it? She actually blocked it with her lightsaber, but it just made her lightsaber fall out.
yeah,
of
but
her
it was a
hand.
projectile. Like,
it?
it was like an actual projectile, not like a blaster bolt. So it just blew up when she deflected it,
Gotcha.
which is what knocked it out.
But then she does the trickery back
yeah,
and does the smoke bomb and
the
disappears
the Batman smoke bomb.
like a ninja. Yeah.
She retreats.
What's crazy, you know what she probably did is as soon as she threw the smoke bomb, just force jumped super high away.
Probably.
That's the only thing I can think of.
But
Or like
At this
the
time-
force like dash
yeah,
that Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan did in
we
Phantom
never
Menace.
saw again.
A
But
lot
at
of
this point,
a lot of like people forget Jedi can do that. And
Well,
don't
'cause we
use
only
that
saw it
in
once.
movies and stuff.
in the first 5 minutes of the Phantom Menace, and that's it.
Yeah.
But at this point, Shin and Sabine, after their fight, Sabine takes a little bit to get up. Shin dashes back to the ancient site where we meet Ahsoka meets Balin, and they're going off.
Dude,
Um,
that's so cool. When she
they're-
walks
they're
up and he's
both-
like, Anakin spoke highly of you.
Yeah. It's like, oh. Everybody.
She's
in
like,
there
oh,
knew him.
funny. He never mentioned you.
But their
'Cause-
fight too was so methodical, and it was so like it,
It
was like
very,
two masters.
Traditional.
You could tell it was two masters going at it, and she was trying to like match him.
It was two people with respect for the old ways, you know? Like, she
Yeah.
didn't even, Ahsoka didn't even use her second blade. She gave
Never.
him a fair fight. One saber versus saber.
Yeah.
Um,
Now
and
I saw something.
his
At,
style.
his was very classic.
What were you
and,
say?
like power.
Yeah, he
power
was very
driven.
like Vader-like.
Yeah,
yeah,
like 4
like,
and 5, like very
Not a lot
aggressive,
of movement. It's just ferocious. Yeah.
just power. But I was saying I saw something.
Which
Somebody asked about why Ahsoka didn't use both sabers, and I saw something that she was trying to, at this point in her life, just trying to like switch back to like a more defensive style, which of course only uses the one saber, and then only when she was dealing with like a lot of projectiles or like a lot of blaster would she use both. And like
no, I don't know because
that's what I heard, and she
before.
just she wasn't
Yeah,
I think she grew out of
agree with
the
that.
form 4, the form like the acrobatic form. I don't know if I do either. I think
No,
she was
because
just
that's what
trying
she's
to
been
be-
using this whole time. It was just against Balin that she used the one because they were just having a very traditional fight.
Well, against
And
Morag
plus,
too.
she's.
She only used one against.
I mean,
those
yeah,
two
but
sabers.
she didn't even see him as a threat. That's why she
That's
didn't
true.
care about him.
She's still in a backwards.
She's
grip
just
there, too.
laughing the whole time.
Yeah, I saw that on
Yeah.
Twitter, and I wasn't super happy with the answer, but I was like, I mean, I guess that's an explanation. That I think she was just trying to be like intimidating, because like when you see
Yeah.
when you see another saber on her belt, like you're struggling with one saber, like that's embarrassing for you.
Yeah. It's like when Vader uses just one hand, kind of a thing.
Yeah,
That's the thing is Balin is using kind of like the Vader style, except he's using two hands. Vader just be one handing. It's crazy.
yeah,
But except he had to use two hands against Ahsoka. He had to use two hands against Obi-Wan, and he had to use two hands against Luke. I
yeah.
think those are the only three people he's had to use two hands for. But actually, I think he used two hands against what's her name from Jedi Survivor as well.
Oh, the
Only
ex-
after he was get hurt from the fire.
Yeah,
But which good on her, man. Respect. We're getting Vader to do two hands.
right.
That's when you know you need to either stop the fight and get away, or you're
That's
gonna
when you
be
know you
dead
gotta mess.
soon. He's not messing around anymore. You might be done here. But yeah, their fight was really good, and she was using her acrobatics. It was a very fast-paced fight too. It was really cool. It was like a prequel trilogy fight.
A little
you
bit,
know.
but it was a little slowed down. I think because of just of their age. Like it wasn't like quite like her
Also, just her opponent,
flippiness.
like
True.
she can't
Like, he's
really
just
go
so
that
damn big.
fast, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
but
That's why like she got up close and was like trying to circle around him, which was working, and then he just
Yeah.
threw her.
yeah. Well, that's what I was saying. It looked like
When
a
he threw
fight
the rock.
between. It looked like a fight between two masters because they both knew what they were doing and they both knew how to defend against
Yeah,
it. So then they both knew what their strengths and
think-
weaknesses were.
They were like sizing each other up at first, and then Ahsoka threw the first hit, and then she kind of like, you could see her like a nod of like, okay, he knows what he's doing. This isn't some weakling. Like he knows what's good.
Yeah,
But she was clearly winning until she hurt her hand.
yeah,
She would have been able to defeat him, but she was too focused. She was just focused on trying to get the map so that they couldn't get the coordinates. If it was just a straight up fight with her not having to worry about anything, and not having to worry about Sabine too in the back of her mind, she would have beat him. Pretty
Yeah, because
easily.
Sabine
not,
did
I
not-
mean, not pretty easily, but
Sabine did not show up at this point. She was still trying to make her way over there. So to her, to
Yeah, 'cause-
Ahsoka, Shin
well, they
comes
were
back
still
alone.
fighting technically at this point.
They were, but Shin comes back alone, and to Ahsoka, that looked like Sabine was killed.
Dude, that's so good.
But
Just
right at the
picked her
last
up
second, Sabine
and
comes
just
back.
threw her.
Yeah, that wasn't even funny.
You really see how much more powerful Ahsoka is than her and stuff. It's crazy. It's the scaling in power. Like she literally just picks her up and throws her. And then Balin was like kind of mad about that. I wonder if that's his daughter.
I don't think so.
That'd be interesting.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. But he could see her as like a daughter too. Like kind of adopted her.
Well, I feel like that's most masters and apprentices.
That's most master apprentice kind of relationships, yeah. Depending on like, that's what Anakin needed, but we won't get into all that.
Yeah, no.
He needed a father figure,
But
and
the
then
map
him and
almost,
Ahsoka were like brother and sister.
Yeah, but the map almost gets destroyed. Eventually, Sabine comes back.
I
rips it
honestly, if I
Well-
was Sabine, I would have given it to him too. I'm not gonna lie.
That was all she had left was Ezra. So like
because there was no malice in what he was saying.
No.
You know, he was being honest and truthful, like, and
And
he
he kept
believed
his
everything
word.
he was saying.
Keeping his word.
Yeah, he didn't let Shin kill her.
But nope, Ahsoka somewhere in the fight grabs the map, burns her hand, and
Right.
eventually it just gets like thrown away. Sabine grabs it, threatens to destroy it.
Yeah, Ahsoka threw it when it was burning
Yeah.
her hand. Which
But
I was saying that it could Ahsoka could have the map burned onto her hand now. We'll see.
yeah, I just don't know if
Probably
it's like
not, but
I
it
just
could
don't
be
know
interesting.
because you would need to open it up still, anyways, though, right? In order to access like because that's how they
Well,
upload
it
the
was still
coordinates.
glowing and stuff, and I don't know if maybe you can do some force stuff with that, but
I don't know.
probably not. It was just a cool thought.
Possibility. That's kind of cool. But
Yeah. But
um,
she gets thrown off a cliff
Balin bests her.
again. Not the first time she's been thrown off a cliff.
Yeah, this time there's nothing underneath it though. But eventually,
Yeah,
before we
rockin'.
get there, she gets thrown off the cliff, and then Sabine retrieves the map. Balin persuades her to give
Yep.
it back. They finish uploading the coordinates. They board the big eye of whatever.
They board the eye.
They get on the ship, and at this point, the Ghost and I believe it was five or six X-wing
Phoenix.
fighters.
Yep. Phoenix Squad.
Including the one from the captain from Mandalorian,
The goat.
Carson.
The goat Carson.
We see him again, and
Good thing Dave Filoni's character wasn't there. He probably would have died.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
Dave Filoni probably would have killed himself.
the Ghost, along with the rest of the Phoenix Squadron, they go jump over to the same planet, and they read a large reading about like a large power surge.
Very large reading.
Very large reading, and then you see the eye slowly come up off the atmosphere, and then jumps into hyperspace to go to the neighboring
That
galaxy.
was a sick
But
shot.
it leaves
dude.
behind like you saw it left behind like plasma or like some material.
It's just a trail of energy.
Just a trail of energy behind it. Destroyed a few X-wings because it jumped right through them or like right around them.
Yeah, because that circle is massive. Like a whole Star Destroyer could fit into that. So like they weren't in jeopardy of getting like slammed into or anything, but that power just boom, like,
Yeah, and it
caused the X-wings to crash into each other, and
it caused like an EMP sort of thing. So basically, like all the power systems went
Basically, yeah.
down. And
I think it's just because it's just a an overload of energy more than like an EMP, you know, just too much energy
Yeah,
at one
I mean,
time,
that's basically-
just causing everything.
basically, what an EMP is, just like less organized.
Basically, yeah.
Um, but anyways, that happens. So they end up jumping away. So they are on their way to Thrawn, to the other galaxy.
Yep.
And we cut back. Cut back to Ahsoka.
Dude, that transition was fire. The water,
The water.
and then it slowly transitions into the world between world path.
Where we hear a familiar
Dude,
voice.
it looks so good in live
It
action.
does. I think it looks better.
It looks so good.
I think it looks so much better.
But then we hear a hey Snips, and then she's like, "What was that?" You know, her face, and then you hear, "Wasn't expecting to see you so soon." She's like, "Master?" Dude, the look on her face when she turned around, it was like she was a Padawan
It
again.
was.
All that like happiness just rushed back, and she's staring at the Anakin Skywalker.
This is no ghost. This is no vision. That is him. That is him.
Just standing there. And then the episode ends, and then the Darth Vader theme starts playing.
So there's a lot of things in that last 30 seconds that happen that we all think. So
Yeah.
first of all, I think it was really cool about like the cinematic parallels that they did with him, because he's showing the same face that like he looked at her with when he gave her the 332nd right before Order 66. Like before they leave. That's the same exact face, same exact Anakin, same outfit, same hair, same everything.
the face he gave Padme too.
Yeah. And, I don't know. I think that's really cool. And it's like same angle and everything.
Yep.
The Darth Vader theme, there's a couple of interesting ideas about that. Some people say, oh, it's a vision. It's really just the sun in Anakin's body, like manipulating her. But I'm not too sure. I think it's just because it's like in Ahsoka's mind and like she knows that Anakin is Vader. So there's like that little bit of caution.
Also, I think it could be Anakin trying to help her overcome her own, I guess not really insecurities, but like her own thoughts about Anakin turning.
Yes.
He might use Vader as a tool to help her overcome it.
Yeah.
Because so this is what we know. The world between worlds is a domain that the Mortis gods like practically rule over. Right? They and we know that the Chosen One, we learned this in the Mortis arc, that the Chosen One is the only person who can keep the daughter and the son in check, in control. And the father wanted Anakin to stay on Mortis to do that. But he didn't. So my theory was that what if, because, Anakin's the Chosen One and that's what he was supposed to do, was to keep them in control, what if after he died, this is where he went so that he could fulfill that? And now he's there to keep the daughter and the son in control. And we know that the daughter, or that Ahsoka has the daughter's like life force or spirit, whatever you want to call it, inside of her. So in a way, the daughter is... Ahsoka's kind of the daughter in a way.
Absolutely.
The daughter's inside of her.
Well, that's why
the
more I follows her around and all that stuff too, because that's also the daughter,
right?
Like the spirit of the daughter, which is technically
right.
also inside of Ahsoka.
So I wouldn't be surprised if Ahsoka technically died, or would have died, and then Anakin or whatever, or even the daughter, pulled her into the world between worlds, because like she can't really die.
Yeah.
At least the daughter can't, you know what I mean? The daughter's technically, God, whatever. And technically the son died, but he's, come on. He's the embodiment of the dark side, which the dark side always clings on to life.
Yeah.
So we know the Mortis gods aren't dead. The only one who we know is dead is basically the father.
Yeah.
But you can also say that the father's technically kind of like in Anakin, because the father's kind of like the chosen one. The embodiment of the Chosen One. And then we know that the mother, who technically isn't fully canon,
is
Abeloth.
Yeah.
Abeloth isn't canon technically.
That's another area where I'm like,
what if this great evil
is Abeloth? I don't know. I don't like the Abeloth story either, because it's again.
But Dave can do the Abeloth very well. Look what he did with the Mortis arc.
I know. I trust him, but again, I don't. If they're just going to, okay, so here's Dave doesn't like taking that stuff because he doesn't consider it canon. But he might take inspiration from it, so maybe, but I don't think it's obviously Dave being Dave. He's not going to take the total power trip that like Abeloth did and like almost consume the entire galaxy and whatever. Then here comes Luke, Legends Luke, by the way, just to like, use a black hole to like throw Abeloth into it or whatever that story was. Anyways, obviously it'll be a toned down version of that, but that could be the greater evil. It could be some form of that. But
because the son and daughter were the ones who would keep Abeloth chained in prison.
Right.
Only them two. Every so many years they'd have to go back to the prison and re-imprison her because she would break out.
Yeah. So again, I think that there is material there to do that, but I don't think Dave in the past has liked to do that. If that makes sense. But I like the idea of Anakin being to keep the son and the daughter in balance, or to keep just.
He enjoys re-canonizing stuff, but he does his own spin.
Yes, that's what I mean.
So, Whatever he does, he's gonna cook up something.
I mean, he's cooking.
That's what we know.
Whatever it is gonna be good.
That's what we know.
I like the idea that he's there. Now, I also heard some things that Anakin pulled her out. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
I don't think so, because he was literally surprised to see her.
Yes.
He wasn't like, I pulled you out.
And, like, if we saw, like, when we saw before, like, when you get pulled out, it's, like, immediate. Like, you're still conscious. You're still, like, awake. You're still aware.
That's why I'm thinking she died.
That's why I think I agree, too. And, like, she would have died if either the daughter wasn't, the spirit wasn't in with her, or there wasn't something greater that she had to be,
She's gonna have to go on a journey of, like, self-discovery, kind of, in the world between worlds, and I think that's how she's gonna come back as Ahsoka the White.
Yeah.
You know who Ahsoka the White is? She had, like, the white robe and everything, because people are starting to think that maybe the Rebels scene
was after that.
Was actually different. Yeah, because we don't know.
Here's the other thing.
Because Ahsoka the White.
I saw a clip from another podcast, and I think the person that they had on was a writer or somebody involved with the like that specific scene, and the scene that we saw with
the original one.
No, the one in Ahsoka. And he said it's the exact same scene in Rebels.
Because of the strike, I don't think they can talk about it.
He said it was the same. He said, now, again, this was a clip that I saw, and whatever self-proclamation thing he made could be false. But he worked on Ahsoka, and he was on the writing team or somewhere on the team where they had say in the story.
It's probably a retcon then, because maybe Dave wants to actually get to Ahsoka the White a little bit later,
in a different way.
Happening now.
That's what I think he did, because from what they said, again, I don't have any names because I didn't really pay attention to that, but he said that they are the exact same scene in the exact same time. But then he questioned, like, about timeline wise, and Dave was like, remember, Star Wars technically isn't always in timeline. So, like, that scene takes place obviously way after Mando, whatever, obviously in the present at this point. But not in the same timeline as Rebels. So, like, that's the only thing that he was saying. But they are the exact same scene in the exact point in time. Granted,
yeah. So I think it was retcon then.
The Ahsoka
not have her be Ahsoka the White yet.
Yeah, I like that.
I think it'd be much cooler to see it now. Go through the journey, because originally what it was because Ezra pulls Ahsoka through the world between worlds, and then she ends up going back, and he says, "Find me," whatever. So she ended up actually going back to the world between worlds sometime after that, and was there for the duration of until she popped up again in the epilogue. And she went through a whole journey of all this stuff, and that's how she became so, like, wise and became Ahsoka the White. So I think that's going to happen now. They've retconned that so that we can actually see that journey.
And I like that we can.
And it's going to help her.
And the other thing, too, that I saw, Dave specifically talking about the world between worlds, and it's not like this place where you just go open doors and walk through different time periods and stuff. It's a place where everything comes together, and Ezra pulling her out. Ezra pulling her out was fine, but Ahsoka couldn't come back with Ezra. She had to go back through the same door, or else, then everything else would be broken. Same thing why he didn't pull Kanan out.
Yeah, he wouldn't have been able to, like, go back with them.
Then, if Kanan didn't save them, then they would have been dead, and then everything would have just been broken, and chaos would have ensued. So, like, that's the world. Like, you can't just pull people out and, like, that's that. Like, there are consequences to whatever you do. And that, I think, is what, again, Dave's trying to show, hopefully, that, like, it's not an option for multiverse. It's not an option for time travel, stuff like that.
Maybe we'll see that there was a consequence for Ahsoka being pulled.
Right.
Because she might have been like she was supposed to die.
Yeah.
But
maybe that's why she's back, because she died too soon. So then there's, she's not supposed to be there then. Because the other thing too that like balance doesn't mean light and dark. Balance means, like, there is no, like, the dark side users bend the Force to use what they want. So she died by somebody, using the Force not in the way that the will of the Force would intend to. So that could be also her coming in between the world between worlds because she had died too soon according to the will of the Force, but like from, somebody bending it.
Or too late.
Or too late, or at the wrong time.
Or it's just something with the daughter and all that. The Mortis stuff.
Right.
I don't know. I'm interested. It's gonna be crazy. Next episode is gonna be insane.
So Rosie O'Dawson
that's what
said
I know.
that like episode 5, the next episode, is the best one of the entire series.
She said that?
That's what she said.
I mean, I believe it.
Yeah.
Based off of the tease we got at the end of episode
Based
4.
off the
teasing episode 5. And then it's the only Disney Plus Star Wars episode that is having theatrical releases.
Yeah.
No other Star Wars show has had that.
Right.
So, yeah. I saw somebody say it'd be cool if Ezra had Kanan's lightsaber.
That would be cool.
Or if Ezra becomes Jason's teacher. That'd be cool.
That'd be cool too. I was wondering
Jason,
why...
we know is...
and
we know Jason's Force sensitive now.
Because he's got a bad feeling.
I have a bad feeling.
I noticed that too.
That was definitely not just a throwaway line. That was he's Force sensitive.
I noticed that too. My question is like, if Hera knows, she's not being selfish and keeping her own child with her, but I guess she doesn't know about Luke, so like there's nowhere for her to go. The only Jedi is Ahsoka.
No, she definitely knows about Luke. She's a general in the rebellion or the Republic.
Right, I keep forgetting about
She definitely knows about Luke, but she probably doesn't have any way to, contact him or something.
Yeah, or he's not taking people yet because it's too early. Maybe he took Grogu, I guess.
He took
Grogu, but then that didn't go well, so then he's probably throwing a fit again. Anyways.
Well, it's not that it didn't... I mean, it went fine. And apparently he trained him for like 2 years.
He just chose a different path.
Which I don't really know exactly the whole timeline, but because Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni have said different things. But whatever Dave said.
That's what I think.
But yes, I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. He could be uncovering this great threat himself on accident. No, not on accident, but like without knowing that, this whole thing, Ahsoka is doing it too.
Yeah. I was just wondering why Jason...
Ahsoka probably talked to him about Thrawn.
I was just wondering why Jason wasn't like sent for training somewhere. Like Ahsoka probably didn't want to train him because of attachment issues, just like Grogu. But
well,
like why wouldn't
they might not have known that he was Force sensitive yet.
Maybe, but like, don't they know like really early? And like they'd all know who the father is. Like there's pretty good chances.
Well, but also she watched Kanan train Ezra without needing a school. So she's probably like,
No, I know that, but like
partly why she wants to find Ezra.
Like why wouldn't like, somebody like Luke or something like train him? I don't know.
Well, Luke probably doesn't even know Jason exists.
Yeah, but
probably doesn't even know Hera exists.
Just a bad mother. I'm just kidding.
She probably wants Ezra to train him. That's why she wants to find him so bad. Plus, obviously she loves Ezra.
Yeah.
Ezra's like a son to her.
That would be cool. I would like that.
So they're like her children. She was like the mother of the crew.
Yeah.
And then I saw somebody say like she lost another kid now that Sabine is gone. Ugh. I'm like, bro.
So that'll be interesting to see too. I hope we get like actual, footage or actual like shots with like just Thrawn and like him doing his thing, because typical Disney fashion is to like focus on the heroes, which is fine for most things, but like if you want to build a successful villain character, you need to give them screen time too. So like I think we will, but I really hope that they don't just like have Thrawn in the background as just like this character that's now back. Like I want to see him like build his empire or something.
We're definitely. I mean, we know we see him.
We know we see him, but like,
He's gonna be coming real soon. I'm gonna go ahead and guess next episode.
guessing
I'm not
next
gonna lie.
episode, too.
Unless it's just a Ahsoka in the World Between Worlds episode, which I would still be fine with.
I'm guessing next episode.
I'd eat that up.
I think it'll be at the end though. That'll be like the finishing touch. He'll walk on the ship and whatever, or they'll find him.
Yeah,
then that'll be
probably.
it.
I'm hyped. I'm ready.
But any ideas for the training in the World Between Worlds, or the interactions that we get?
I think she's gonna see a lot of stuff.
Like Anakin's gonna show her around.
I think
like,
Anakin is gonna be like her guide through it, and he's gonna show her a lot of stuff.
Oh, you know what? What if it's like her training to keep her conscious after death, like how Yoda did in Clone Wars? That would be cool.
I don't think so, because that would mean like she's gonna stay dead.
No, I mean Yoda didn't.
Well, I guess, yeah.
So like, and that might be part of the Vader theme too. Is that like again, that's part of facing her past and like.
That's what I'm
facing her
saying.
dark
She's
side.
gonna have to. I think Anakin's gonna use his Vader form to get through. Like, that's why she's been so kind of like depressed, kind of, is because she just feels responsible.
She feels guilty because she left
Vader.
them. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's gonna be part of it. Is she's gonna get back to being her old self. You know, she was one of the people who was always positive, for the most part.
Right.
And she would help Anakin through his anger and all that. So I think now he's gonna help her, basically like tell her like, you're not responsible for what I became, you know.
Kind of like with Obi-Wan.
That was all me. Yeah, exactly.
That would be cool.
So
I would like that.
yeah. As I saw some people were like, why is Ahsoka like acting so like boring and without personality? It's like, well, first of all, she's 40 years old now. She's not gonna act like how she did when she was 13.
Right.
For one, let's start there. And second, in Rebels, she acted positive because she didn't know that Anakin was a Vader.
When she did find out, she passed out. She went unconscious. She was out.
Exactly, and so we didn't see her. We haven't seen her since then.
Right.
Until Mando. So, like, yeah, she's not gonna be very happy.
And the only time
doesn't have anything to cheer for.
Right, and the only time that we saw her like kind of have a glimpse of happiness was around Luke and Grogu, because she saw a future in that.
Right.
And she saw.
And she was seeing Anakin.
She saw Anakin and Luke.
And then we saw Rosario Dawson's Ahsoka be happy again as soon as she saw Anakin in the World Between Worlds.
I think the happiest.
Happiness back.
Yeah.
She looked like a kid on Christmas when she turned around.
So the other thing I wanted to ask you about, because we've had this conversation before, is do you think that Anakin's character was slightly unaged digitally, or do you think that's all makeup work?
Yeah. They touched it up for sure. I think it looks fine though. I saw some people complaining, and then someone was like, "Bro, so people complain when they didn't de-age him in Obi-Wan, and then when they de-age him in Ahsoka, they complain again." It's like, what do you want? Like, I think he looks perfectly fine though. He looks pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. I think he looked good. He looked better than he did in Obi-Wan or in Kenobi, because you could still see a little wrinkles.
Yeah.
And maybe that was just makeup, and then he's. But again, I'm not gonna be nitpicky about it, because
It's Hayden. Yeah,
they got Hayden.
I don't care.
We got Hayden. Once
in Obi-Wan, they didn't DH him at all.
No, he was
They
just
just gave him a Padawan.
Again, I didn't care.
Thing. I didn't care. No. So, I'm ready, man. I'm ready for this episode 5.
Yes, next episode, and it's
then we
directed by
have,
Dave.
the movie.
And it's directed by Dave.
Yep.
So when you say movie, you're referencing the Dave Mandoverse movie.
Yep.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Because I think that's what this is all leading towards too.
That would be cool. When are those supposed to come out? Not for like another 4 years or something. The first one is
It'll be like 2025 or 6, but I don't know because of the strikes. It might get pushed back a little bit more.
Just pay your people.
Pay your actors and writers.
Just pay your people. Give them benefits.
Anyways. Yeah. I think we covered everything, to be honest. Is there anything?
I don't think so. I think we hit everything. I think I don't know. We'll have to see for next episode how right and how wrong we are. But usually we're about 50-50. I've noticed. Some things we get right, some things we don't.
Yeah. Yeah, this stuff it's so hard to predict because you got a whole new galaxy, you got the world between worlds, like
you have unlimited options.
You can't really predict this. Yeah.
No, I like the Abeloth.
Anything I think of, Filoni is probably going to do something better. Anyway,
I like the Abeloth rewrite. Make her less overpowered. Obviously, she has to be powerful because she's literally a goddess.
Is that the theory you're going with? Abeloth is that great evil?
I think he was. I don't think so.
Or do you think it's just going to be Thrawn?
I think it's just going to be. But I don't know though, because like, he wasn't like inherently hateful.
I don't think it's going to be just Thrawn.
He wasn't like inherently hateful. Thrawn he was just serving the Emperor, and he was just doing.
He always worked. Yeah, he was just working for the Empire for that same reason. He was trying to, the stuff in the unknown regions and whatever.
So either it's like some physical evil, or it's like some conceptual evil. Like with the Empire, they were like, whatever. Like they just wanted order. Like that's your greater evil. I don't know. I think that's
right. He wants to make his own new empire or something.
Yeah, I don't think he would have. I don't think he could do it by himself. I don't think he's. I don't know. I mean, he could do whatever he wants, but like,
I'm so hyped.
I don't think that's the reason. I think there's something else out there that, or we're just trying to bring Palpatine back. If Palpatine's a greater evil, whatever. Again, I don't know. Do I want that? No. Do I think that they have to do it? Probably. But again, if you give it a better story than he just returned, I'm for it. Like, if it makes sense within the universe, if Dave's doing it, then by all means. But.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it.
Yeah, covered it.
Episode 5 is going to be a big one. We will have an episode out after that episode because we're going to have to talk about that right away.
Yeah.
We kind of skipped last week just so we could combine these two episodes.
Not thinking that
we knew
this
episode
episode
5 was going to be the big one.
Not thinking that this episode would also be big. But
yeah, okay. Yeah, we didn't know it was going to be as crazy, but
hindsight.
We were still right that episode 5 is going to be the crazy big boy. So
yeah, directed by Dave.
Yep. So, yeah. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
Peace out.